August 30th is National Grief Awareness Day, and here to help us understand grief and the grieving process is Nurse Christina Perez from the VA. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So first off, what is grief, and are there factors that can affect the grieving process?
There are. So grief is a process. It's the process of actual loss. Mourning is the natural process that we have through like adaptation, or we're integrating to loss. So usually involves some kind of religious, ceremonial, kind of ritual sort of thing. And bereavement is the period that occurs right after. And then grief is the normal process. And there's different types of grief too. Sometimes it's anticipatory. Oh my goodness, can't say that this early in the morning. So, when it's expected, like somebody with cancer. And then there's just the normal process that can occur soon after. And then there's complicated grief. So that's when you can't quite get past it and go back to your life. So it can be complicated. Yeah.
But there's different stages, too, of grief. I mean, isn't it true that people all experience a different way?
They do, absolutely. So there are different stages of grief, and you don't just stay in a stage. They used to say there's the 5 stages of grief, and everybody's going to go through it, and you're going to go through it in a certain process, but that's not really true. They've found that it's more like a big squiggly line. So you may go into one type of grief and then experience a different symptom and then go back to the first one, so you may have anger and then go to denial and then go back to anger. So it's not all the same. It's not a fluid process.
It's not linear.
It's not. And and when we think of grief isn't just the loss of a loved one or the death of a person. It can be, you can grieve friendships, you can grieve vehicles, cars, homes, jobs, relationships, right? So there's a lot of things that we can have grief over.
And then do you have any tips for people who are going through grief?
Yeah, sure. So the big thing is, take time out. It's okay to sort of not keep up with your normal schedule. Keep the house clean continually. Avoid making any major decisions. So you don't want to just get up and move. Like I'm done. I'm leaving this neighborhood. So kind of give yourself time to adjust to this. Don't sell possessions and things. Talk about it. Talk with friends. Talk with family. Talk with clergy. Express yourself creatively. So there's ways you could keep a journal. You can write a note to your loved one or the person. Honor that loved one's memory with photos, things like that. You can take care of your physical self. And one big thing is you want to avoid using any kind of chemical to numb yourself. Avoid the alcohol, the drugs. It really can only heighten your anxiety, heighten the feelings and make them more intense. And it's okay to have fun. I think that's a big thing we forget. And definitely reach out if you find that you're sort of stuck, or if you notice a loved one just isn't quite moving on, they're not getting up in the morning, they're not doing normal routines.
So if life is interrupted in some way and it's not carrying on normally, then that's a warning sign?
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about all the time we have today. Thank you for coming in. I know it's a difficult process to talk about sometimes, but thank you for coming in and kind of breaking it down for us.
Thank you.
Of course.